What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back, and from the New York Post, IRS visited Twitter Files journalist Matt Taibbi's home same day as congressional testimony. Now, I don't know too much about Matt Taibbi. I think he used to work for Rolling Stone. I don't think he is like some stone cold right-wing conspiracy nut job. I think he is just a regular dude exposing some truth, which is, of course, strictly forbidden in the highly curated, highly falsified world of the establishment. They say an IRS agent stopped by the home of Twitter Files journalist Matt Taibbi the same day of his congressional testimony on the weaponization of the government, according to House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, who's demanding explanation over the oddly timed visit. And Jim Jordan is back, right? He's the one who came out and said, we're going to investigate Fauci. So I have to appreciate the attempt, but nothing's going to happen. And maybe it's just all smoke and mirrors. Maybe he knows nothing's going to happen. Maybe he's actually trying. I don't know. Never met the man. But it is kind of funny how he seems to always be out there showing his face saying, oh, we're going to investigate Fauci. I need answers to this. But we all know nothing's going to happen. Do you think that the establishment's going to say, yeah, we came down on Matt Taibbi because he was, telling the truth against us? No, it's never going to happen. Those people are never going to face any consequences. In fact, it's only going to make it worse for Matt Taibbi, I can assume. Jordan sent a letter to IRS Commissioner Daniel Werfel in the Department of Treasury on Monday in hopes of getting to the bottom of why the federal agent appeared at Taibbi's New Jersey home on March 9th and left a note, according to an editorial in the Wall Street Journal that cited the letter. The note reportedly instructed Taibbi to call the IRS 4 days later. When he did, an agent told him that his 2018 and 2021 tax returns had both been rejected due to identity theft concerns. So here we go again. This is one of the cards they played on Trump. Oh, your tax returns. We want your tax returns. And of course, they're not going to ever expose their tax returns. They're not going to ever talk about the backdoor deals, the mask deals, Sleepy Joe Biden, Bo Biden, the Biden crime family. They're not going to talk about any of their deals. But when one guy is testifying in front of Congress about how the government was colluding with Twitter, which I believe to be highly illegal, I'm no legal scholar, but I don't think that's okay. So naturally, oh, your taxes are a problem. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so incredibly predictable that they would come after him following this or during this testimony. Taibbi has been deeply involved in researching and reporting the Twitter files based off of a trove of internal documents at the social media giant meant to expose unfair bias in the company's past, content moderation, and the social media giant's previous contact with government officials. Yeah, and we all knew this. Look, it didn't, and I'm not taking anything away from Matt Taibbi, but it was crystal clear that Twitter was in cahoots with the Democratic Party. It was what they had to do because in years past, they could just buy off some regular TV media personalities, but they're not getting the same traffic that they used to. So when you only had a handful of 3-letter news outlets, that was easy to pay them off, and they could keep whatever information out of the public. They can push any information they wanted to. But now you have all these, all this social media stuff, so they have to try to control that, and that's why we see so much censorship, because they used to have complete control of what got out there. Now with the internet, they don't have control, and they obviously need that to maintain their power. The journalist told Jordan's committee about the IRS agent's visit that occurred the same day he spoke to House members before the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government to testify on what he learned from the Twitter files. Taibbi gave the committee documents that indicate his 2018 return had been electronically accepted, and the IRS never told him or his accountants there was an issue with it over the past 4.5 years, according to the Journal. And I believe this all stems from Elon Musk taking over Twitter and sort of exposing what was actually going on behind the curtain, which makes sense as to why they were so scared. What doesn't make sense as to why they're so scared of Donald Trump. What's he going to do, right? I mean, he has to fight that entire establishment, but they're obviously very afraid that he will do something, and that's why they've been trying to take him down and quite literally put him in jail since the day he came down the escalator. But that's not what this is about. His 2021 return was at first rejected and then rejected again after he refiled, despite his accountant's refiling with an IRS-provided PIN number, he said. So, I don't know. The timing is awful strange, right? Taibbi said in neither case Was it a money issue in that the IRS actually owed him a considerable sum? Taibbi made clear in a tweet Monday night he had no interest in commenting on the letter. For those asking, I don't want to comment on the IRS issue pending an answer to Chairman Jim Jordan's letter, Taibbi wrote. I'm not worried for myself, but I did feel the committee should be aware of the situation. So yeah, I mean, look, we all know the FBI, of course, has been weaponized. Obviously, the IRS. The whole thing. It's all. There is no agency. There's no ATF. There's no Department of Justice. There's no FBI. None of them that are actually going to do the job and stand up for the American people. They all work for the corrupt. They are the corrupt establishment, in fact, right? Which is also strange because we constantly hear about systemic racism, and it's like Joe Biden is 80 years old and has been in politics for longer than I've been alive. He is the system. He's also the one that told you you're not black if you don't vote for him. But somehow there's another system, there's another establishment that's racist, and that's apparently Donald Trump, right? It doesn't make any sense because we all also know that nobody called the man racist for 15 seasons on The Apprentice. There's 5-6 minute long compilations of rappers name dropping and praising Donald Trump, but somehow now it's all upside down. It's all on its head. But of course, par for the course in the backwards bizarre world. Revelations about the IRS come after Taibbi and Democrats on the subcommittee butted heads during his hours-long testimony with fellow Twitter Files journalist Michael Schellenberger. Taibbi, a longtime Rolling Stone reporter, responded to a jab from Virgin Islands Representative Stacey Plaskett at one point, listing his career accomplishments and saying, I am not a so-called journalist. So, of course, they're going to go after him. Doesn't matter if he worked for Rolling Stone, which is, of course, an establishment, propaganda rag, because now if the truth starts coming out, they cannot have that because it's all going to start to crumble. And it's absolutely insane that they just can't handle it. It's so obvious. You send an IRS agent to his house, right? I mean, you wait until how are you even supposed to disguise that? Oh, well, it's just a coincidence. There's no way anybody's going to believe that. And they have completely weaponized every single agency. They're going after their political and ideological opponents at every single opportunity because I guess they see their control, their power slipping away, even though I still don't really know how you snatch it away from them, right? You can take Arizona, for example, right? Katie Hobbs, give me a break. It's all absolutely insane. They're going to do whatever it is they want. Well, let me stop before I get banned, but there's a lot of things that are incredibly dirty, and I don't want to go too tinfoil hat, too conspiratorial, but they're doing a lot of things to maintain power, control your speech, take the guns, turn your little boy into a little girl. The list goes on. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.